So here we are in 2025, and we're hearing that CDs are on the comeback. Today, we're going to look a little bit around why we think this is the case, but also seeing that there is a bit of a petering out in vinyl sales. So try to work out why that might also be the case. Good morning to you, Al. Hope everything's well. Now, let's just unpack why we think CDs are back.
Good morning, mate. Look, there's lots of points. You could look at time and place. You can look at the quality of CDs and being, a passive or active listener when it comes to music. But let's start off by talking about time and a place. Like if I was to kind of analyse my music experience, it'd probably be 80% streaming services, Spotify, 10% CD and 10% vinyl. Now, the benefit of the CD is you put it in and you're getting a great listening experience straight away. What do you think about this conversation, mate? Do CDs have time and a place for you, mate?
Well, not really. I don't listen to CDs, but I do understand the argument that there is a certain routine that you go through when you are putting on a CD. Maybe not necessarily back in the day. Maybe if that was all you had as an option, but if you're wanting to listen to a CD. You're generally looking for a fuller experience compared to maybe what you'd get on a streaming service, which actually comes us to the next point around quality, right?
Yeah, well, that's right. So quality-wise, CDs are on average kind of 4 times the quality of streaming services. Of course, you can boost your streaming services by adding DACs and all that kind of stuff, but for the average punter, mate, you can buy a CD player for a couple of $100, CDs for $10 or $15, and you're away. You're getting a great experience and really good quality. And really, it's out of respect of what the artist was trying to achieve in the first place. So if you've got time to listen to a full album, I reckon CDs are a bang for buck, mate. What do you think? What are your thoughts?
I think so, and especially with some of the technology that has evolved now, it's not as if CD technology stopped back when most people stopped listening to CDs. It has actually continued on, and you have more dedicated CD devices now that really come up with a really good quality output. Look, interested that a lot of people have put their CDs on ice and stopped listening to them over this sort of recent period of time. Probably buying a CD player might actually uplift some of these CDs that people have known and have been used to listening to, which I think means that it's probably a good time to maybe revisit CDs.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, people will die in a ditch about talking about vinyl and I'll only listen to vinyl. It's the best experiences, blah, blah, blah. In terms of being a passive or active kind of listener when it comes to music, I find, and this might just be me, that Spotify and other streaming services, you become more of a passive listener to music. It's not so much of you sit down and listen to a new album kind of thing.
Yeah, look, I think that with CDs, there is an investment. Okay, so you have to spend 30, 40, whatever it is to purchase it, and you've got it. And you really got to hope that the investment is going to be worth your while, and you can't really sort of stop and not listen to it at least a couple of times before you feel like you've gotten your value for money. And then there's obviously those CDs that you buy that you listen to 100 times and you certainly get your value at it. So it's a bit more passive with streaming. You can try it and not necessarily get into it. It might be a great album, but there's certainly less of a barrier to getting things wrong. And I think that's the beauty of streaming in a lot of ways, that I think streaming and CDs and actual physical ownership, I think, can coincide. I don't think it's necessarily like a zero-sum game where you got to do one or the other.
And it comes to our last kind of point, doesn't it? The impact that it's having on vinyl. So we've got a little bit of data around that. Now, you're a minimalist when it comes to music, mate. You like your streaming services. I'm probably a little bit more on the collection aspect of it all. Let's have a bit of a conversation about the impact it's having on record sales.
Yeah, I mean, this is really fascinating. I think that there are people who will die in the ditch. They'll get very religious when it comes to vinyl. There was these arguments, almost myths, that people were spouting about how vinyl was better than CDs. I think there's plenty of evidence to suggest not. Not going to convince everyone. I know we'll get some comments around this, but I feel as if once that argument was more or less dispelled, it was more about the romance of picking something up physical and going to the record player and playing it, which is fine. I mean, I don't feel as if that's a great argument, but look, everyone's got their own truth and their own reasons, and you can't really deny those reasons.
And that's interesting. And to finish, it'll be interesting to see whether this is just a flash in the pan or whether over the next 12, 18, 24 months, CDs generally do continue to take off. And we were talking before about whether or not this sense of urgency might, the people at Spotify might start looking at releasing high-res music sooner rather than later due to the fact that CDs are on the increase. What are your thoughts there? Do you think?
Oh, absolutely. I think Spotify would be keeping an eye on what's going on with CD sales. I think for a long time they've been able to get away with, these compressed files that I think, again, great. You get the ability, so this a la carte sort of service, but I think people are realising that there's much more you can get out of sound quality, and I think as a result there is a turn to the CD now. Whether this I guess hurries Spotify up with the high res version of their product that we keep hearing about will remain to be seen, and whether that actually has an impact on CD sales long term, that will be also interesting. Okay, well, let us know in the comments, do you see that there is more of a comeback of sorts around CDs? We're certainly seeing it, we're hearing about it. Let us know your thoughts on it, and would it have an impact having a high-res version of something like a Spotify around your decisions around purchasing CDs in the future? Let us know in the comments. Let us know what you think.